Welcome back, everybody, to our highly anticipated part 2 of our interview with Ness from Bobbi's Pole Studio, who is now going to tell us all the things we want to know about the Miss Pole Dance Australia competition. Welcome back, Ness.
Okay. All right, so where should we start? Can we start with, you told us a little bit in the last episode about how the very first whole competition in Australia, we don't even know, maybe it was the world, came about. Can you tell us how Miss Pole Dance Australia came about?
Yeah, so in our must have been maybe 6 months in or something, really early on, we got a phone call from a guy in the Netherlands called John. And he said, I'm doing could you run Miss Pole Dance Australia for us? And we're going to do it in every country, and then the winners will come to the world finals. At a place called the Hedonist Resort, which was sounds like a.
Oh, that's where Felix was, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, I've been there.
She's
I
been
will
there.
tell you the story. I went there.
Did you go there for the competition?
Yeah.
Oh,
that was the world.
That was 2009, I think.
Right.
Wait, was it? Yeah, it was the first Worlds that I went to. But I don't think it was still the John guy. I think it had changed to Stephen K. Penny.
Yeah, no, it wasn't him. So he called us and we said, yeah, sure. By that stage, Kim was in Perth. She must have opened really quick after us then. I don't know. I'm pretty sure she had a studio. There was Christy Love in South Australia. There was Princess Mimi in Wollongong. There was us. There was Canetta in Pole Divas in Melbourne. And there might have been one in Queensland. I don't know. Anyway, so we said, yeah, sure, we'll run this competition. We said, hey, guys, they were the only studios in each state. Can you run a little heat with your students and send us the winners? And they went, yeah, sure. So we ran our heat, I think, at the Miranda studio. I must have just been students because there weren't other pole studios. Maybe some strippers went in it because there was some really good pole dancers at the clubs that weren't coming to classes. Anyway, so we hired a place called the Bourbon and Beefsteak in the Cross, and it was like an L-shaped room. And where the stage was, we realized that the people in the L part weren't going to be able to see the stage. So we put a big screen up. And we were getting it filmed so then they could watch it live on the screen. Got some judges. We had burlesque act halfway through. I remember just before doors opened, the burlesque girl said, if we're standing up the back here on these kind of high things, we're not lit up. We're going to perform at intermission. You need to light us up. So the lights that we got, which were left over from when we opened the studio, the workers' lights, the spotlights, they were our stage lights. We turned them around to light up the burlesque girls and then went, oh, now there's no light on the stage. So I had to run down, the doors were about to open, run down to the hardware shop to buy some more builder's lights because I didn't know about lights.
They're so hot as well, builder's lights, aren't they?
Light. Yeah, they're boiling hot. We used to use those for showcases as well because they didn't have LED floodlights back then when we started. So we had to use just the regular lights and they were boiling hot. And if you touched the metal, you'd burn yourself.
Mm.
And then we had a student who said, do you want me to do catering? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, I'll just do catering for you. So up these rickety stairs that were like a ladder and everybody's going up there that was where the dressing room was backstage. It was basically a ladder, and seriously, the girls were, it was so dangerous. But up there, it was like the storeroom that we'd kind of pushed all the crap back from the pub, and it had this tiny little area that people could get to put their stuff in. And she got huge seafood platters for us. So we had crab and lobster and prawns. Funnily enough, nobody ate them. I don't think that's the best backstage food. But she'd made beautiful. She owned a seafood. She made these huge seafood platters, and they just sat there getting hot all night. Anyway, just also before doors open, while I was down at the hardware shop buying the light, camera guy went, "Oh, I can't make the feed go to the screen down the side." I'm like, "Well, you have to because all these people are going to be standing there." And he's like, "I've tried everything. I can't do it. The screen's not going to work." So all those people, like there were maybe 100 people who were meant to be standing. It was standing room only. Like we didn't give them seats for some reason. We had seats. Anyway, they all wanted to watch, right? And there was no screen there anymore. So everybody just came to you could not move. It was like you couldn't even say excuse me to get through, like at a mosh pit. You could not get through. Everybody, that's where you were standing for the entire night. You can't get to the toilet, you can't get to the bar, you can't get anywhere. If we wanted to go from the stage to the front door, I don't know why we had to do that, but we did. And we'd have to go behind the bar to get through because you couldn't. Anyway, Jamila did her jade split and won because that was like mind blowing. We'd never seen anything like it. It was amazing. And that's when, do you know about the wall books? So we got the photographer that was going to take photos of that Miss Pole, the first one. The photographer, I said the day before the competition, let's take photos of all the competitors and we'll make a calendar. And then I was like, no, let's not do a calendar because they might not all sell out in the time that we got. So we'll call it a wall book. It was pole art for your wall and looked like a calendar where you could flip the pages over, but there was just no calendar part. I think we had to get 1,000 made because back in the day you had to get like a lot of something. So we got like 1,000 of these wall books. We were giving them away. Like we're like, the prize for Miss Pole Dance is that you don't get a wall book this year. Like
I want one.
But also the mistake is that everybody was doing these beautiful photos the day before a competition and standing like, when you get sore in a photo shoot, right? Because you're doing these crazy moves for a really long time. So the day of, when everybody came, we didn't have rehearsals or anything. But the day of, people were like, "Oh my God, I'm so sore from that photo shoot yesterday." I'm like, "Please not." Oops, that's the idea. Oh well. But yeah, Jamila won. Oh, sorry, we're going back to John Benner and the Netherlands guy. So he originally had said, yes, we can get you a 38 brass pole for the world finals because they were using 45 mil chrome or something.
Probably still 50
like, no,
back then. I don't think there was 45. I think it would have been 50 back then.
Yeah, 50s were huge back then. Like it was most places had 50s. I'm actually surprised you had a 38, Ness.
Yeah. We just got them from the railings, the brass railings. Anyway, and so like a week before Jamila was due to fly over, a couple of weeks, she hurt her ankle, but at the same time, John said, "Oh no, sorry, we can't do the brass pole. She's going to have to perform on a 45 or 50 mil pole." And Jamila's like, "No," but also she's hurt her ankle, so she couldn't go. So he got really nasty because she didn't go over.
Yeah, right.
And then I think the second year, we just did it on our own. We were never going to send maybe, I don't know. But the second year, I believe.
Did that competition actually ever happen? The first Worlds?
Yeah.
But I think the second one didn't because people had bought their tickets and the finalists were all in the country, wherever it was, and it didn't go ahead. But maybe that was the first one. I don't know.
I think that was the first one. I think that because I think I did the second one.
Yes, you would have.
So the first one didn't. Oh, so the first one didn't ever end up going ahead.
Yeah,
and then
I think he ran away with everyone's money or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was bad.
That's happened so many times in our industry now, hasn't it?
And then somebody took it over. And did we send you over to the Worlds or did you?
Yes. Yeah, you did. With the caveat that there had to be a 38 mil spinning pole. And there was, but the static pole was a 50 mil. So the first Worlds I did was static 50 mil and spinning 38 mil.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, it was nuts. But it's all right. I don't mind a big old pole.
So the second year we were at Le Montage, so we decided, oh my goodness, who thought of this, that we would do the competition in the round, which is no good for anybody, I don't think, apart from Felix. Felix was there. So So yeah, we had this rigging and everybody was sitting all the way around and we had a big fashion parade. And Bobbi said to me, Kim, her sister, said, keep an eye out on Felix. We thought one of our girls was going to win it. She was really good. And Bobby's like, no, Kim says this Felix chick's really good. Like, we've got to keep an eye out for her. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, totally. Have you seen that interview where Felix is like, I'm not here to win. I'm just here.
Yes, I've seen everyone's seen that. That's gold, that interview. I watched it the other day for some reason, actually. I loved it.
But I mean, that performance was incredible. And that was the huge turning point. Everyone's like, holy crap, that can happen. Wow. That's amazing.
I remember Ness back then as well, the shows were really long because we didn't have as many pole dancers who could compete. So they were like 7 minutes long or something.
And yeah, I don't remember, but yeah, that sounds right.
I was going to ask you another thing as well. Do you remember? You might not remember because I don't exactly know where you were at this point in time, but I remember it was because it was in the round in that place, and there was a very intoxicated lady there.
She punched Bobbi in the face. I was right there.
Yeah. Oh, what?
I told her, because she was drinking tequila at the back, she was really smashed, and she's like, it's okay, I go on stage every night drunk, I'm fine. And I'm like, you're not, like, I'm not comfortable. And she was like, no, fuck off, I do it all the time, I'm okay. And then I was like, okay, I don't know what to do, because I think she's going to just walk out and go on stage. And so I asked Lino, Bobbi's husband, to go and talk to her. And Lino said, if you don't leave, like, we're going to get the police involved or something. So she's packing her stuff up. And then I was kind of waiting for her to pack her stuff up and take her outside. And she said, oh, well, can I just see Bobbi for a sec? Can I see Bobbi? Take me to Bobbi. And I thought she was going to say, oh, I'm really sorry that I'm drunk and I'm not going on or something. I don't know what. Anyway, so I took her to Bobbi, and then Bobbi was like, yes, like, kind of bent down to say, what do you want? And the girl went, and I was in shock. And God bless our little cute, sassy teacher, like her name was Sassy, just beautiful. She came out, like, she was a few steps away. She kind of got the girl in a headlock and frog marched her out of this place. And I was like, what just happened? It's crazy.
Fully punched her in the face.
In the face.
Oh my God. Did she get a black eye or anything?
I think she kind of like didn't connect really well because she was a bit drunk. So she, it was kind of it was probably more shocking than ouchie.
But still,
crazy.
you don't punch Bobbi in the face.
Or anyone, I don't know.
Anyone. Yeah, what the audacity.
Hotel sponsors, so hotels to give us a cheaper rate on whatever that. So we would say to all the competitors, you don't have to stay here, but if you want, here's a cheap rate, whatever. So I knew this girl was going back to the hotel that was sponsoring us. And so I had to call them at like 10 o'clock and just go, look, I'm really sorry this happened. She's on her way back. She's really cranky at us, like the competition. She may be a problem at the hotel. Like, I don't know. So that was awkward. She wasn't a problem at the hotel. It was fine.
Unbelievable. I can't believe she specifically asked to go see Bobbi with that plan in mind.
And then
right?
The very last night, the very last competitor, do you remember? One of the polls started going down.
Oh my God. If that happened today, you'd be eaten alive.
So, like, I could tell it was never going to actually crash down onto the stage, but it was definitely sideways, like, yeah. And we were like saying to the girl, move to the other pole, move to the other pole, move to the other pole, which she did. God bless her. Like, we finally got her attention because when you're on it, you can't tell that it's like looking a bit dodgy. Yeah. It's the other one who finished her show, God bless her. And then that was it. And we're like, we're so sorry. She's like, it's fine, don't worry. It would not happen today.
No, God bless her cotton socks.
No way we'd get away with that today. There's no chance. We'd be done. So tell us about the actual rigging. How did you work that out?
Recollection. I know when we went to the Enmore, their riggers did it. So the very next year we went to the Enmore. No idea. I think bourbon and beefsteak, was there 2 poles at the bourbon, Felix? Oh no, you weren't there.
I wasn't there. I wasn't there. But I think they were already there.
Yes. because that other mob, who were they called? Pole Stars. Pole Stars came about maybe 6 months after us, and they would go to pubs and take some portable poles and teach girls in pubs. So there was, and that was one of their venues. So they had 2 poles there, I think. So that was attached to the roof. They must have been short at the Bourbon, and then at La Montage in the round, we must have just found someone to rig it. Yeah, it was a hard rig, I think. Like, I remember having all these like fly lines coming down to hold it in place. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember actually.
Well, obviously it sounds like it wasn't done very well though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think because I think it was just a one truss kind of like over the top of the entire stage. And so then with the wires coming in, I just think it wasn't stable to the stage. Do you know what I mean? Like they weren't
Feel
connected in
weight.
enough points. Yeah.
How did you choose competitors though? So year 1 and year 2, how did you get these competitors?
We
Just
had a state heat. We had a state heat with
state heat
judges.
for both. Okay. And then did you get like 2 or first, second, and third to come through, or did you wild card back then?
I think the idea was to get the winner to come, and then it was the best of the rest. So they were all wild cards. So we would get the shows sent to us on video, on DVD actually, and then
Yeah.
watch and get, just in case there were like 5 amazing people from Western Australia and like 2 from ACT or whatever. The idea was to really get the best of the best. That's kind of stayed the same, kind of not.
Was it like nerve-wracking to go into the Enmore Theatre?
It was cool. We thought we were very, but we'd sold out La Montage, I'm pretty sure. So we were pretty confident that we could, give it a good crack at the end one.
So
Yeah.
what's the sellout at La Montage? What was that? What did that look like?
800 people or something.
Whoa, 800 people in your second year.
It was a lot.
There's so many. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing because I wouldn't
Isn't
have
it
even
so
thought
cool?
Pole would be that big. Where are you getting these people from when there was only a couple of studios in Sydney?
Good question. I don't know. I feel like all the people that did poll, all their friends wanted to know about it. Like a whole bunch of guys wanted to go, what? I'm allowed to go and watch this stuff? Like, cool. So, each student would bring like 20 people. Everyone they'd ever spoken to was like wanting to come and check it out. What's this all about?
I can't imagine having bringing in 800 people to watch a live event now. It's like, I just feel like or maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like the climate here, certainly in WA, is that it wouldn't be possible to get 800 people.
Yeah, I think COVID would be happy to watch the live stream at home.
Yeah.
It's comfier. You don't have to park. You don't have to buy drinks at the bar. You don't have to line up for the toilet. You just watch it at your home, which is super sad. But also there's a competition every weekend. So studios are saturated and competition's super saturated.
Oh, competition's away. It's crazy. There's a lot of competitions not running this year because it's so oversaturated and they didn't do well for the last few years because there's too many. I mean, Ness, you and I have spoken about this. Same with you, Felix. Like, there's too many competitions and there's not enough competitors, and then you're getting the same competitor in 8 competitions for 1 year. So it's just changed.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's sad because I really like it when people go to see live performances. Like, I don't think there's anything that compares to the live experience.
Yeah,
people are there. Awesome. Like, we had such a great night, that whole atmosphere. You just got to get them to remember it for the following year.
Yeah.
It is. Come. So,
all right. Take home message is go to your live events.
Yeah.
See pole dancing in the flesh, not just. But I also think, like, for a competitor, and a lot of my girls and guys and theys have a lot of experience watching pole, like on a screen and on a small screen as well. But it's so performing for a small screen, for an Instagram or phone, is so different to performing for a big audience. So if you're only receiving that information, you don't ever learn how to project to a larger audience. So you do put yourself at a disadvantage. If you're not going out and seeing it and seeing how it's done, then you can't emanate that.
So then the second year, obviously Worlds ran, and that's when you went across, was it, Felix?
I went 2000. Oh, you know what? I'm wrong, because 2006 was when I'd won Miss Pole Dance Australia the first time, but I don't think there was a Worlds that year. So I think first year when Jamila was supposed to go across was the year that maybe there was a scandal, and the organizer of Worlds may or may not have allegedly run away with everyone wins for money. And then there wasn't one the next year or so, or a few years, because the first one that I went to was in 2009, after I'd won Miss Pole Dance for the second time.
So the minute, I think while she was still on stage, Bobbi and I were like, well, she can't enter every year because nobody will ever enter this competition again. We made that rule about having to go in at every second year if one. I think while you were still dancing, well, like, holy fuck, what happened? What's that? Okay, what are we gonna do? So yeah, we had to make it fair.
I mean, that's how we used to make up rules. I mean, we still make up rules like that sometimes, don't we?
Sorry.
Wait, so you won 2 years in a row. So Jamila won the first year, and Felix
Yeah.
won 2 years in a row.
No,
and
no.
Then, no,
I won 2006, and then 2007, no, and then 2008, I won again.
Have you won 2 or 3?
3.
2.
Great.
3. Wait, which are the 3? 6?
6,
8,
8,
10.
10.
Oh. So when she went on for the very first year, Ness, you were like, she can't come back next year. We need to give somebody else a chance.
I didn't even do a
Yeah.
spatchcock back then.
Yeah? Tell us about that.
That was just mind blowing. Like, what? I think that was also the year, and it's one of my favorite things you do. I think it's a bird of paradise. I don't actually know all the moves, the change.
Eagle.
Eagle, yeah. And Felix is beautiful eagle. And then at the beat, like it was, everyone's like, whoa, that's amazing. And then on the beat, she just lifted it like she could go further. It was just perfect. We're like, what? Like we were already like, holy fuck, about the move. And then you just like took it that, oh, this is brilliant. Oh, so good.
Hey. But yeah, it's about framing it. It's about framing the moves and how you present them. Because I think a lot of people don't use dynamics to their advantage. They're just constantly moving through instead of setting up a move, then being like, more. So you can see that it's beyond extreme. If you educate while you're doing, and you're like, this is the shape. Everyone see the shape? More of the shape.
And the musicality too, Felix. You were great with that as well. One of the first that was really listening to, and because you're a dancer, so you know what you're doing as well.
Yeah.
So who won in between, Ness? So we've got Jamila, then Felix, and then who was the third winner?
Allegra?
Candice.
Allegra?
And then it was Felix. And I think it's Candice. So Felix, no, sorry, Jamila, Felix, Allegra, Felix, Candice, Felix. I think.
Something like that.
It's a long, there's a lot of winners now. So I guess how, from the Enmore, that's obviously been huge and it's stayed there ever since. How did it grow in other ways?
So like with Mr. Pole and MX?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing. I remember now we charge a lot for live streaming because I'm like, get out of your lounge room, come to the event. If you're going to stay in your lounge room, I'm going to charge you almost the ticket price, right?
Yep.
Because I want you to watch live stream. I want you to come. So we charge a lot, and it freaks me out every time. I'm like, oh, that's a lot. But come to the event. Anyway, the first time we did a live stream, we were like, we want to charge $10 a live stream. And the guy was like, oh, what? You can't do that. That's really expensive. Like, you're not going to get anyone watch. And we're like, well, we want to at least cover our costs for you. So yeah, we're going to charge $10. And we got thousands of people watching. It was not, his
Really?
system broke down. Like we had like 8 of us backstage people just answering like, well, yep, we're trying to get it back on for you. I'm sorry. Yep, we're trying. Like they were coming through emails, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. All it was a real mess because he didn't understand how popular this was. Anyway, going back to Mr. Cole, Bobbi said, I remember I was sitting at the reception desk and she was in reception and one of our male students went through because we didn't actually have said no to male students. I would always say, I would like to meet you in person to make sure you were fresh and not there for a perv. Nobody ever was.
Yeah.
It's totally fine, but now we're fine. Anyway, one of our male students walked through and she's like, I wanted to talk to you about something else. I think we should do a comp for males. And I was like, what? That's stupid. Like, there aren't enough males that are pole dancing. Like, what are you going to have? 3 competitors? She's like, no, I think we should make it international. And I was like, is anybody's going to fly here? I was like, going, okay, this chick's a weirdo. Like, okay. Anybody would fly here? Like, what? But they did. And it was amazing. And it's great comp. So, after the first one, I'm like, I apologize. I doubted it, but it's a very good comp.
We live and learn.
Yeah,
That's it.
They came out of the woodwork. There's like so many people. Yeah, this is the thing. And then there was a campaign a few years ago for me to change the name Miss Pole Dance to MX. And I was like, no, I want to be all woke and I want to be kosher and, but it's a legacy. It's a thing. It's a brand. It's not just, And I said, we accept female identifying people and Mr. male identifying people. It's totally fine. And they're like, no, but there's a big gap, for the MX thing. You need to change it. And I was like, it just didn't feel right. And I spoke to Maxie about it. I spoke to a bunch of queer people about it. And what we came up with, a few of the states were doing like a amateur heat because they didn't have quite enough professionals to fill in the night. And then sometimes when they did have enough professionals to fill in their night, they would do the Miss Pole Amateur on another night. So I was like, we could change that bit, like the amateur bit of the comp to MX. So that's what we came up with. So the finalist for that is just still state-based. Yeah, that's going well. Coming up soon, folks, buy your ticket, your live ticket.
And happen to know that the WA applications are now open, so you can submit your applications. Ness, thank you so much for sharing all of those wonderful journeys and insights. And it's been a joy talking to you. Thank you for being here with us. And we hope that everyone tunes in for the next one.
Thanks, Ness. Thanks, guys.